Let's start a fire. Hey there, everyone. Got a fascinating story today about a real estate developer that, let's just be honest, not the best person in the world. Before that, I wanted to go over a few things. One, we're up to 14 subscribers, up from 5 just last week. So thank you all for subscribing. I know that that quite a few of you now are, actually there's more non-family members than family members subscribed. So I really appreciate that. And then I would love it if you gave me a call, 314-274-3964, and told me your stories about renters, neighbors, HOAs, real estate agents, anything that's, fascinating that you want to talk about. And then if you don't want to call me, you can always email me at media@deerwoodrealtystl.com. One of the things that I'd really love to talk about a lot is the real estate agents. And what always happens to me is I'll get a story about someone that feels they were done wrong by their real estate agent, or their real estate agent was a moron. And I don't know if I wasn't in the deal, so I have no idea what was going on. I do find it fascinating. People will tell me real estate stories, like, oh, I had a bad real estate agent or anything, and I'm standing right there, like, didn't think to call me. It's like, now you're telling me how bad the other person is? I don't understand. But I will bring a perspective, I think, that you can relate to, at least in those types of stories. Sometimes it's not the agent, sometimes it's the other side, and then other times it's 100% the agent. So we'll just dissect some of those things. And then, of course, with the HOAs and the neighbor disputes, those make me laugh all the time. But today's story, not that funny. We've got a real estate developer that really not a great fellow. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John Schenk, and I am the founder and managing broker of Deerwood Realty here in St. Louis. We're a small firm. We operate mostly out of St. Louis County, St. Louis City, St. Charles, and Jeffco. So if you're needing context as to who I am, that's who I am. I'm a broker. In the afternoons and weekends, I show houses and work with buyers and sellers, and in the mornings, I podcast. So that's kind of how it goes. So today's story, let's get to that. Today's story is a fascinating one. It's from the Department of Justice, and the headline is real estate developer sentenced to over 5 years in prison for conspiring to commit arson. And it says that almost a decade ago, the defendant decided that he could use his power and influence as a real estate developer to burn families out of their homes that he wanted to develop and flip at a profit. And then the Department of Justice, everybody seems to have these, from the government seems to have these corny lines. And so let me read this corny line to you. And the reason why they have it is because people like me will read it. It says, "And if you're a real estate developer in this city and think that you're above the law, then think again, unless you want to see your own plans go up in smoke." Ha ha. Okay. So, getting through the story, it says between 2011 and 2013, the defendant directed his co-defendant and co-conspirator to set multiple fires at residential buildings that the defendant wished to develop and was planning to acquire or had recently acquired. The purpose of the fires was to terrorize and thereby drive out the occupants of these buildings whose lawful removal achieved through eviction or voluntary buyout payments proved to be too burdensome for the defendant, either because of the time or cost involved to achieve a vacant premises otherwise deemed ripe for development. Then it goes on to say, although no person was physically harmed as a result of these fires, certain of the fires resulted in substantial damages, particularly in the case of a single-family home in Albertson, New York, which was largely incinerated, and from which the members of the family who lived there escaped with their lives, but not any of their multiple pets who were burned alive or their belongings, which were largely destroyed. So yeah, that's the real estate developer out of New York. And so as usual, I have questions, and let's just get to them right now. So the first one, so this guy thought it's better to set fire to the buildings than to have them evicted, and I just think that's disgusting. So under any circumstance, and obviously it's against the law, so he's been put in prison. But can you imagine renting from this fellow, and you have to worry that your building is going to get burned down, your house is going to be burned down. I mean, it's just too much, And so it's not the neighborly thing to do. I want to kind of expand on some of the stuff we talk about to, what do you do, or what can you do, and what would be the neighborly thing to do. And, in this case, it's not a neighbor, it's a landlord or a developer. So what he chose to do doesn't seem to be like the right thing to do. Like, I can't think of anyone that says, oh, well, these tenants are really a pain in my butt. I'll just burn their house down. That's just wrong. So, and then going along with that, I'm a real estate broker, and there are people that hate real estate agents, and I'm well aware of it. We charge too much. We're no good. We're stupid. I get it. I hear it all the time, and I understand. Real estate agents get it, but real estate developers, depending on what kind of development it is, they get it or they don't. But this guy, this is reason number one that people hate real estate developers. I mean, can you imagine the gall to think that it's okay to burn someone's house down, or to burn your house down with someone else in it? I mean, sometimes there's a reason why people have labels, and certainly for this guy. And then I wanted to say that home fires are catastrophic. I don't know if you've ever met somebody that's had a house fire, but they lose everything, or mostly everything, and it's not like they can just go right back to their house and everything's fine. It's a terrible situation. So this is, even if there was no one living at the house at the time this guy decided to burn these houses down, it's not the right thing to do. It's just terrible. And so that leads to my next thing is he gets just over 5 years of prison time. And what do you think about that? I'm stupid enough to still believe in redemption of people, but at the same time, it just seems like, to me, 5 years isn't enough. That was a terrible thing to do, and in 2021, like, the idea that the guy's not going to get caught, he did it on, they set 5 fires total. I mean, they can figure out chemically what people use to start fires all the time. I mean, to me, it just wasn't a well thought out plan. just dumb. And finally, one thing I wanted to mention, we live in a world where it seems that we're always focusing on positive, and there's nothing ever bad or evil. I think that's totally wrong. When I was growing up, we had the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union was the enemy. It was communism, and we all had a kind of a unified goal to defeat communism. Now, you can argue if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but it did teach us that there was evil in the world. And now with the social media and things like that, it's everything's fun, everything's happy, everything's great, and then it's like, until someone gets murdered, like, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring up. There's evil people in this world, and this guy, this is just evil. This is bad. And be aware. Start paying attention to your surroundings. Start paying attention to the people you do business with. Myself, we're a small enough brokerage. If I don't have a good vibe about a person, if they're a jerk to my agents or a jerk to me, or just not good people, I don't want to have anything to do with them. Life is too short, and I don't know if it modifies their behavior, but I'm just not interested in dealing with those kind of people. And so I wanted to say the same for you out there: is just know that there's bad in the world. I mean, this is a convicted felon. I mean, this is no doubt that he did it. And just be careful out there. With that less than happy note, I'm going to head on out. Thank you for all the support. It's been wild this week, and I'll catch you on the next one.